Hi guys, my name is Minty and I'm going to be talking about the history of Tamagotchi. So first, Tamagotchis are virtual pets that you can take care of, you can feed it, you can pet it, you can play it, and they also die. However, in recent years they've become a collector's paradise and for the most part very affordable. And the co-creator Akihiro Yokoi from WizCo was actually inspired by a New York Times article where he read about a young boy who couldn't bring his pet turtle on vacation. So he thought, since he had his own pets, he's like, why not make a virtual pet? So he contacted Aki Maeda, who worked in marketing at Bandai. And they talked for a few years, and at one point they almost lost hope, but eventually they came with the name Tamagotchi, which means egg friend. And they finally released it in Japan in 1996, and then a year later in the US. There is a major difference in the animation of when the Tamagotchis actually die. So in Japan, they're not as subtle as the US. So in Japan, when the death of the Tamagotchi happens, they basically have a tombstone. And then for the US, they have a little angel floating. So they kept it very nice. And now I'll go into the details of the releases of the device. So, um, for a few years, it became less popular, but they made a revival with in 2004 with the Tamagotchi connection. And the special thing about the Tamagotchi connection is that it is you're able to connect it with other connections with in-flare technology, and I have one right here to show off. It's the Tamagotchi connection melon soda shell, and it's very popular in Japan and also here. And also in 2005, they released the Tamagotchi Deca Home, where you're able to connect and interact with some of the other Tamagotchi connections. And I just recently got this one as well. I don't have any of the Tamagotchi connections that can connect with this, but this is what it looks like. They also have a blue version and a special anniversary set one that's, I believe, orange. And yeah, so it's a very nice hefty size, the size of your palm, which is really cool. And it also has a little stand, so you're able to stand it as a collector's item and all that. And alright. Alright, in 2008 they also released the first colored screen, which is a Tamagotchi Plus Color. I actually don't have any of those devices yet, but if I were, I would probably get a green one. And basically it was the first color screen, and it's a nice egg size, and a lot of people have told me that it's very fun to play. And from 2009 to 2012, they also released a Tamagotchi anime series online, and they released it and produced it by OLM Inc. And you can actually watch it on YouTube. It's like over 100 episodes. It's really interesting. Like, you get to learn all about the Tamagotchi characters and all of that good stuff. And then in 2009, they released the Tamagotchi ID. So the Tamagotchi ID is also a colored screen, and it can you can basically download any items and accessories for the Tamagotchi with IRDA support. And next, in 2010, they also released Tamatown, which is an online interactive world with basically where you're able to be social with other Tamagotchi players and all of that. And they also came with a device called the Tamago, where you could actually connect a figure on top of the device, and that was actually really cool. And then in 2011, they released the ID again and called it an IDL. And I actually have one right here. And the special on this one is that you can actually raise a pet with your Tamagotchi character. And they also have one of the big Deca Homes ID devices, not as big as this one, but very similar to the design as this, but a little bigger. So that was pretty cool. And then also in 2005, they also had the Tamagotchi Connection Corner Shop, which was a simulation game on the Nintendo DS, which is very popular. And then actually later this year, I believe in June, they're going to be having a remake of that on the Switch, which is really exciting. And yeah, so let's go back to 2012, and that's where they released the Tamagotchi piece, and that introduces the Tamadeco Pierce. It's where you can insert a special pin to unlock new characters, games, locations, and items. I actually don't have one yet, but maybe one day I will. In 2013, Tamagotchi Friends was released, and basically that focuses on social features and a colorful world called Dreamtown. In 2014, they released the Tamagotchi for You, and the special for that one is that it's NFC compatible with Android devices or any type of mobile device to unlock items and characters. And then in 2015, they released the For You Plus, where it has more enhanced NFC, more downloadable content. Then in 2016, they released the Tamagotchi Mix. And the Tamagotchi Mix introduces genetic mixing when two Tamas get married. So basically the marriages started happening in Tamagotchi. So in 2017, they released the Tamagotchi Chibi. It's 2/3 the size of earlier models. And then in 2018, they upgraded the 1997 device of the original Tamagotchi and released that. And basically, they just changed the screens. I have a Japanese original, and it's this one. And then I also have one of the re-releases from this year, which is the Tamagotchi original. It's like a Gen 2. So like it has this like matching game, like which number is higher. You have to guess the number higher in the game. And it's a Tama Picnic themed. And then in 2019, they released the Tamagotchi On. And there's also the Meets and the Sum. The difference between the On, Meets, and the Sum is that the On is in English, the Meets is in Japanese, and the Sum is in Korean. So I actually have a Tamagotchi On, and that's what got me really back into Tamagotchis. And it was this guy. And then in 2021, they released the Tamagotchi Pix. So the Tamagotchi Pix had like 3 different devices, and the one that I was able to get was the one in nature. So you can see the little designs on it, and it's like nature-wise. And up top here, if you press this, it could actually take pictures. And the camera is right here, which is pretty cool. And then also in 2021, they released the Tamagotchi Smart. And the Tamagotchi Smart is really interesting as well, because you could also get the Tama Smart cards and basically upload the content on there, and then you could start playing other things. And then you could also wear it as a watch, and then also the buttons are really interesting because these two actually don't work. So like when you turn it on, it's actually a touchscreen, which is really interesting. And it's also only in Japanese, but online, like if you go to like certain store, other Tamagotchi collectors, they've actually made a patch where you could actually upload it and turn it to English. So there's like a little button right here, a little USB charge insert, and then you can actually charge it. So like it doesn't take batteries, which is really cool. And then in 2023, they released the Tamagotchi Uni. And the Tamagotchi Uni has about 4 devices, and you're able to go into another universe It is also USB compatible, and the one that I'm going to show you is this one, and it's the Tamagotchi Uni. And then the charger is right here. So it's slightly a little bit more expensive, but I mean, it's pretty cool that it's one of the USB compatible, because they always have to try and move on with their times. So this is what I know about Tamagotchis, and also Tamagotchis keeps expanding and like doing lots of merch rather than just like the devices. They also do like stuffed animals, that's right behind me, and also they do a lot of like stationery and a bunch of other things. So like the history of Tamagotchi is really interesting, and I've always admired it for a long time, and I am very happy that I was able to talk about it. So thank you. Bye.